Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the second video of the BL2 tutorial series. I'm Ethan Ater, and in this video we're going to be covering flips, loops, and basic inverted orientation.
Good.
So as I said before, the BL2 is a great helicopter for learning these maneuvers, as it's got a wide variety of flight modes. It's got the beginner mode, which is great for learning the orientations, and then it's got the 3D mode, which is great for those more advanced 3D maneuvers. So all around, just a great helicopter. So one of the key factors in the flips is going to be pitch management. So basically, think of it whenever you're starting out as 90-degree increments. So whenever you pull up to 90 degrees, you're going to want to stop. Make sure that you don't give too much pitch or too much negative pitch, as it's not going to stay in one place. You want to find that sweet spot to where it wants to stay in one spot, and that's going to be the key all around, is just trying to keep it in the same spot. So I'm going to plug this guy up, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So whenever you want to do your first flip, I would definitely recommend starting in a tail-end orientation like so, but just for the purpose of showing pitch management, I'm going to turn it on its side like that. So basically, I'm going to give an example of using too much pitch and too much negative pitch. So essentially, if you don't find that sweet spot and you try to flip, you're going to start going way over here, and it's going to be a headache. Now, if you give too much negative pitch too soon, it's essentially just going to shoot back like that. So you want to find that sweet spot to where you can flip and it's not going to travel too far from where it initially started. So as you can see, I'm around neutral pitch, and it's not going to travel too far away from where I started. So basically, whenever you tie that all together, switch from 90 degrees to 180 degrees once you're comfortable, so like that. And as you can see, it's not going to travel too far away whenever you find that negative pitch. Then you can flip back over. Now, essentially, if you give too much pitch, it's going to flip over. You might give positive orientation whenever you're or positive collective whenever you're upside down, causing it to go into the ground. Now, if you give too much negative pitch, you're just going to flip over here. So as you can see, whenever you do one stationary flip, it's going to stay in roughly the same spot. Like I said, too much pitch, going to go over here, possibly going into the ground. If you keep that positive, too much negative pitch too soon, you're going to shoot over here. So really the key is finding those 90-degree increments. So, flipping, stopping, and it gives you a sense of where that neutral pitch is, which definitely helps whenever you're flipping. So whenever you want to tie that together, try tail end. It's definitely going to be a lot easier. So as you can see, tail end's going to be a lot easier, as the tail is definitely the easiest orientation, especially whenever you're learning. Now, whenever you flip upside down, it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, as down is up is down, and your right and left is going to be mixed up. So your inverted orientation is definitely going to be a key factor into this. As you can see, you flip, try to stay in one spot. So yeah, the same thing with backflips, just, try to keep those 90 degrees, try to keep it in one spot, and eventually it's all just gonna tie together. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to loops. So moving past flips, let's talk about loops. Essentially, you're gonna wanna be more fluid with the pitch, in a sense that you're gonna wanna apply positive. So let's say you're doing a positive loop. You're going to want to start with positive pitch, and once you come out here, that's whenever you're going to want to try to find that neutral pitch, just so you don't stray too far positive or too far negative to where it's not going to line up really good. And the same thing whenever you come around, you're not going to apply as much positive, but you want to give a little bit more than that neutral pitch. So I'll show you guys in a video just showing what I'm talking about. So first I'm going to show you guys an instance onto where too much positive pitch is applied to the first half of the loop. So basically, whenever you start and you give too much positive, see how it kind of dips down a little bit? It doesn't want to stop level once it hits inverted orientation. It kind of wants to dip towards more so like the shape of a heart. So basically what you'll want to do is you want to find that neutral spot. So whenever you flip, you'll go neutral, and it won't want to dip down and essentially ruin the fluidity of that loop. So on that second half of the loop, you'll want to find that sweet spot. Essentially, you're not going to be given a whole lot of positive pitch. It's essentially just kind of let it fall into the second half. As you can see, the first the first half of the maneuver, you're going to be given a lot more positive pitch. And this one, it's more so just going to be falling into that second maneuver. Now, if you give too much negative pitch on the first half, it's gonna be like the opposite of that hard. It's gonna wanna basically go too far up and kind of ruin the fluidity of the fluke as well. So essentially, tying these two halves together, just being fluid with the pitch, you're gonna get a pretty good result, like so. And obviously, it's a smaller helicopter, so it's gonna fall a lot faster than a bigger one. The bigger ones are obviously going to be a lot more floaty, but this one definitely does loops very well. So tying these key factors together, it's going to produce a pretty fluid loop. As you can see, whenever I don't give too much positive, too much negative on the first and second half, you're essentially going to get back to roughly the same place you started. Now, of course, if you give too much positive or too much negative, it's just not going to be very fluid. As you can see, it's going to make that heart shape kind of go down like that. It just doesn't look very pretty. But once you find that sweet spot in the pitch, kind of let it fall in on the second half, you're overall going to be very comfortable with doing loops. It's going to look really well. It's going to look really good too. So yeah, guys, hopefully these tips and tricks help you advance from upright orientation and basic forward flight into your first 3D maneuvers. So I will definitely see you in the next one. Take it easy.